Hi guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So here to do hopefully a quickish video today. Seems to have kind of got really lengthy lately, although they may not have been uploaded yet. Just here to bring you another one of my digi kits, and we're just going to have a play and kind of a look at, you know, what I'm planning on doing with it, or what I have been kind of doing with it. So this one is called the Butterfly House. It's just like the kind of butterfly blue and the papillon green kits, in that it's two separate purchases. So you've got your, you know, what I refer to as the body of the kit, which is this 5 pages, and then you have got the background pages as a separate purchase, and that way, you know, it kind of nicely spreads the cost. And, you know, if you didn't want to buy the whole lot, obviously, you know, you could just kind of buy whichever parts that you wanted. And they're both PDF files, and yeah, that's probably kind of all you need to know. So the first part that I will show you is the kind of ephemera part of the kit. It's 5 pages, and you've got a variety of shapes and sized pieces, journaling cards, kind of these decorative elements, butterflies for fussy cutting out, and floral pieces, little labels and things like that. So you've got 5 pages of those kinds of things, you know, all different varying styles and sizes. So hopefully you've got kind of a nice big, you know, variety of things to use with your work there. Yeah, pretty colours. It's a really nice colourful kind of kit, just really nice for summer. You know, and yeah, hopefully kind of something a little bit different. I've gone with really bold colours, and you know, kind of, yeah, a bit kind of way out for me, but I'm really enjoying it. So it's nice having a play. So that's your ephemera part of the kit. I think I counted it up, and I'm sure there were kind of 70 pieces in the ephemera part. So you've got a nice kind of juicy bunch of you know, pieces, you know, a big amount of pieces to play with in your journals. So that's that one. Then you've got the background pages, and you've got 11 background pages. So you've got this one, which is quite a nice kind of pale neutral type colour. Then you've got this one. You have to excuse this patch here. My printer was beginning to run low on ink before I kind of spotted it, so that's what that's kind of about. Obviously in the real life it's kind of continuing this colour. I have printed these double-sided, some of these, so you know, this is kind of technically page 3. They may not be that page order, if you see what I mean, but this is another background page. So again, kind of really beautiful, lots of scrolly, just really nice images, kind of very, well, I guess it's a bit like a kind of Baroque type pattern going on in the background, but really pretty. Then you've got this one, again, lots of kind of roses, and the frame and things, really nice. You have got this one without the roses, kind of just with the butterfly images, a bit more kind of toned down in that it's not quite so, you know, in your face. Then you've got this one. I love this, in this gorgeous vibrant blue. It's really nice to work with some really different kinds of colours. So, you know, I wanted to go with something really completely different. I don't think it's kind of similar to anything else that I've kind of made before. So yeah, really kind of really nice. Then you've got this one. Again, this is quite similar obviously to this one. Main differences obviously being, you know, this section is kind of different, and obviously this one has got flowers kind of all around it, and you've got obviously this big butterfly. So I mean, these pages are pretty good for obviously fussy cutting pieces out of, or kind of just, you know, using small sections and things like that. So got that one. Got this one here, again, lots of different pieces that you could find, fussy cut out, or kind of, you know, tear off as corner pockets, or, you know, fold them over for kind of belly bands, you know, however you like really. So whilst we've turned over, I will show you the back of that. So you've got this gorgeous, again, this kind of really beautiful blue. It's kind of like a midnight blue colour. And again, you've got those gorgeous blue butterflies and just some roses there. Really love this colour. Forgot to show you this one. So again, it's that kind of more pale background, but lots of roses on it. And again, butterflies kind of in the framed kind of mounts. Then you've got this, which was similar to the one without any roses, except this one obviously has got roses. So, you know, you've got kind of two different options, one that's very floral, one without any flowers whatsoever. Then you have, this might be repeats actually. Yeah, that one I have shown you before. This is the one where we thought it was quite faded, obviously printed without the faded part, and the rest are just kind of repeats of the first one. So there's 11 background pages anyway altogether, plus obviously separate purchase is the 5-page, you know, body of the kit, and it's called the Butterfly House. So I'm just going to move my piece of fabric out of the way and show you kind of what I've been doing so far with the kit. So I have printed a couple of the background pages in small you know, half-size versions. I got this idea from Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming, so thank you so much, Sherry. I'm very unimaginative when it comes to things, and you know, didn't really kind of occur to me to kind of shrink things down, but I saw your video on working with DigiKits where you had shrunk down the butterfly blue kit, and I loved the fun kind of that you could have with the kind of, you know, shrunk down. So thank you so much, Sherry, and yeah, check out Sherry's channel because she has some brilliant ideas and things, and yeah, she's doing kind of lots of different things at the moment with kind of you know, experimenting with kind of obviously different kind of sizes and things. So thank you so much. I have obviously printed off kind of a couple of the background pages in smaller size just to kind of have a little bit of fun with them. Haven't decided how I'm going to use them yet, but I just wanted to see what they looked like in small size and really like them. So I may create kind of, I don't know, envelopes or flip outs, or not sure, or little booklets. I'm not quite sure yet, but I really like those. And then what I'm going to do is do an altered book. So I hadn't done an altered book for a really long time, and then I did one with my Dr. Dolittle, Dr. Dolittle's diary kit. Again, I don't know which way round all the videos are going to be uploaded, so it may be that that video is up there, it may be it won't be. But I really enjoyed doing it, and I thought, wow, you know, I can't believe it had been so long since I've done an altered book. So I decided to do another one for this kit. Now I went for this really bold green colour, which actually I have to confess I did regret. Once I painted it on, I thought, whoa, that was a mistake. Let me just see whether I can turn this lamp off now, because it was quite glary. Yeah, I thought that was a bit of a mistake, to be honest, because it was much darker green than I expected, and I'd blobbed it all over the page by that point. So I just thought, well, I will roll with it anyway. The inside of the book was this red colour, and that's why I actually chose this particular book, because I thought that it picked up obviously some of the colours from the kit really nicely. If I just put that against the red, I thought it was really good. However, I have obviously, as you can see, painted all over to kind of obviously keep the continuity of the paint effect going on. I know this does look an appalling mess at the moment. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to kind of obviously, what's the word, like bring it back from the brink, and kind of make it look a lot better. So if I just kind of show you through, I've obviously kind of painted, you know, all the pages kind of that I want to kind of paint. Some of them obviously I just kind of painted small bits, just covering the kind of, you know, small bits of text, and some obviously they had full pages of text, so I've had to, you know, do a lot more painting. Now these are much more toned down at the beginning and the end of the book, so these are kind of more your single pages, more for you know, kind of journaling. So I like to leave them plainer and they're just singled. They're not, you know, glued together or anything. And then once we go through the book, I've got one or two that are just glued together with no kind of pockets. Another kind of single one there. And then I did the kind of, you know, gluing together and kind of forming pockets from the pages. Now, I have another confession to make while we're confessing all, is that kind of further into the book, I was having a bit of a kind of nightmare with my glue. I was doing this outside in the garden and it was very hot, and obviously my glue was kind of melting and very oozy. So I've had a couple of pages that are very, they're not looking their best, let's just say. They're not looking quite how I had wanted them to look. They're very kind of creased, and you know, the glue has kind of, it was very wet, let's just say, and so the pages have kind of crumpled and, you know, got that kind of damaged thing going on. I'm going to again just roll with it, and you know, we will hopefully kind of work around that, and that will not really be apparent by the time we finish the journal, is the plan. Who knows, maybe it will be, maybe I will eat my words and it won't kind of cover up at all. And then the final kind of mistake that I had, I was obviously kind of doing this you know, out in the garden with the children, and not fully kind of, my mind wasn't fully on the task, you know, at hand. So this one, again, I thought this had kind of obviously dried in the sun. It hadn't, so they got stuck together. And as you can see, it's kind of torn there where the paint was stuck together. Again, not a problem, because hopefully we're going to cover that up. I mean, what I am more concerned about is this really in-your-face kind of colour green. So as I say, as I kind of go through, once I obviously discovered how dark that green was, I've got some more subtle kind of pages. But there are quite a few pages where obviously the green is very, very much the kind of main dominant feature of the page. However, I thought, you know, that being said, I still like the colour. You know, unfortunately, when I bought the colour, because I actually did buy the colour once I'd kind of designed the kit, I didn't have the kit with me, and in my mind, this colour green kind of looked more like this, or this looked more like this, you know, kind of, I thought they would tone okay. Obviously, once I got home, I discovered that they weren't really kind of particularly alike, but I do still think that they look quite striking together. So hopefully you guys kind of agree. So if I show you kind of some of the pieces that I've made. So this is going to be a policy envelope. As you can see, I haven't really finished it. I've just kind of cut it out and folded it over ready. But I'm going to kind of, you know, stick on a circle with a brad and some string, and that will be that. So I'm just going to pop that to one side. But I have cut out lots of pieces from the kit. I haven't cut out everything yet, but I've just been kind of getting started really. So I've cut out kind of this from one of the background pages. Again, I'm not sure whether I'm going to kind of stick it in or whether I will have it kind of in one of the pockets as maybe like a little booklet. I haven't quite decided, but there's that piece. I won't show you obviously all the fussy cut bits, because I'm sure that that's not really a great deal of fun to watch, but I will show you some of the other pieces that I've kind of, you know, made look a little bit more interesting. So I did a couple of these pieces which I thought were really lovely. So I just took a couple of the journaling cards from the body of the kit, and then I layered it onto some vintage book page, stitched around it on the sewing machine, and then stitched the book page onto one of the background pages from the kit. And then I just stitched down some white lace as a kind of ruffle there. Let me get my scissors. So just cut some of those threads off because they're incredibly long. So we just cut those off. Oops. Oh my gosh, there's loads of threads on this one. Right. So, yeah, really striking and, you know, very vibrant, vivid, rich, gorgeous colours. And actually then when I put this piece against that kind of vivid green, I actually think it looks quite nice. So, you know, that's why I thought, well, actually, I think we can make the green work, and it's going to look, you know, really a striking, awesome kind of journal kind of once it's finished. So this piece here, I've done exactly the same, in that I just took a journaling card, backed it onto the vintage book page, and then again I used the same background page, you know, the same plain blue, backed it onto there, and again just put some lace ruffled down the side. So that's kind of two there. Then what I did, I made a folding kind of booklet, which again I now need to cut a lot of these threads from. So let's get cutting those. Oops. It's unbelievable how many threads sometimes are there from the sewing machine, isn't it? So, oops, right. And then obviously here, I just need to trim this down where I stitched on a pocket on the inside. I'll just snip the back as well. Just trim that kind of down. So as you can see, I've just got the same kind of thing going on with some lace just ruffled in a kind of stitched effect. Let me just snip that off. In a ruffled sort of effect again down the side, and then that would open like that. Now this is a bit annoying because this is now bending over. Hopefully that will kind of straighten out, but that's kind of that piece there. So I made those. Then just have a look and see what other bits that I've actually kind of completed, because a lot of these pieces I've just kind of semi-made and they need extra things doing. Okay, so down here, this is kind of, I think, the final piece that I've actually kind of completed. So I've got here a Matchbox book. Might even have to stop using those, to be honest, if I don't get better at pronouncing it soon. So there we go, just trim that down. And it's a sideways opening one like that. So you've just got obviously folded over, oops, and that just tucks in. And again, I just stitched it down rather than glued it, and then just stitched on a little bit of the white lace there as kind of a ruffle down the side. So they're the bits that I've kind of completed. And then I've got a whole bunch of other things here, sort of unfinished pieces. Oops. Let me just pop this out of the way. Right, so we have here an envelope. So again, I just kind of took one of the background pages, folded it over into an envelope style like this. Obviously there's your envelope. And then I just kind of stuck down or stitched down a little piece of lace kind of in the corner. Hopefully you can kind of see that in the camera. I thought that would be really quite nice as, you know, probably a little pocket on the page. But if not, we could kind of attach it with a paper clip. And I will probably then just kind of pop a butterfly or something on over the top of the lace, because obviously the lace is just stitched down at the edges. So if I just pop a butterfly or something on there, it will just help hold the lace firmly kind of shut. Let me have a look through. Right, I have another piece here that I actually did finish. So this I just took, again, some of the background page, and I've just formed a little pocket. So I took some of the background page, backed it onto some book page just to kind of give it a bit more thickness, stitched it around on the sewing machine, formed a pocket here, and obviously stitched that around, and then again just ruffled some lace down. And you know, again, I mean, that's obviously in the kind of dark green colour, but goes really nicely, I think, then against this kind of striking green, you know, kind of the paint colour. So hopefully it's going to work okay, even though initially I was kind of horrified at how dark this green was. I think actually it's going to work really nicely, and it will just be a really kind of vivid and very different kind of looking journal. So hopefully it will turn out kind of all good really in the end. So yeah, I also folded up another one of the background pages just into a little kind of folding flip here, and I will probably put something down here to act as a kind of like a stopper or a clasp, or I don't know what you'd really call that, but just something kind of down there like that. So that's the plan. I mean, really gorgeous kind of colours in this kit, and you know, hopefully kind of really be able to do some really lovely things with it. And yeah, hopefully you guys kind of think there's some really pretty kind of bits and things as well. I've dug out some lace. So this blue lace here, really, again, gorgeous colour, very vivid. So hopefully we're going to be able to kind of use some of that, which, you know, I think will kind of tone really nicely with the kit. I also have some darker blue lace, which, am I going to be able to get it without dropping everything from the side of me? So we've got this lace here, which is obviously in a much darker blue, but again, you know, works really nicely with the kit. So, you know, hopefully again be able to kind of incorporate that with some of our bits and bobs that we're going to kind of be using here. I've got some green ruffle, which, to be fair, is pretty close to this colour. So, you know, that's going to look really kind of striking on a page. So lots of bits and bobs here kind of to get on with. So what I'm going to do is start by kind of placing these completed bits, which, you know, there's only a handful so far, just at kind of different places through the book, because I don't want to kind of have a cluster of things, you know, in one place and nothing then left for another place, if that makes sense. So I want to make sure that I'm kind of spacing things out, you know, pretty kind of well. So I'm just kind of going to place them at different kind of intervals throughout the book. And I don't want to kind of have all the blue things, you know, in one spot, if that makes sense. I want to kind of have, you know, a few different things in different places. But I mean, you know, these colours, to be honest, although I was shocked, they look really pretty against these papers. So, you know, I think I'm going to kind of actually enjoy using them. So, and then obviously we're going to be doing our policy envelope. Oops. That obviously, again, you know, we're going to kind of obviously have that somewhere in here as well. So, you know, and obviously we've got lots of other kind of bits to use as well. So that's kind of where we're at with that. So let's kind of get on. I'll move this out of the way. Make another couple of pieces to kind of go into the journal. So here I've got another piece, which again, this is just kind of the other side of the background page, and I've just kind of folded it in half. Thought I would glue it down. Oops, I could have done with really stitching it down, but you know, again, I haven't got my sewing machine, so we're going to just glue it. So we're going to glue it down like this. Oops. Okay. And then what I did was I took a another piece of that blue background page, and I just tucked, you know, cut it and tucked a little tiny fold in there so that we can have this as a what do you call it, a like a flip out. I don't know why I'm struggling to say that. I don't know, sometimes you just struggle to come up with the correct terms, don't we? So I'm just going to glue that down here to the side. Oops. I just want it slightly higher because I didn't want to cover up the butterfly down there. So that's that. So again, that's another piece then ready to go on. And obviously, you know, we could kind of finish that off with like a little label. We could pop the label on a piece of lace. Oops. Oh gosh, everything's stuck. Everything's stuck together. Not that piece, it's not really big enough. Maybe this one. Cut this down. Like that. Oops. We can just have that kind of popped on there. Like that. You know, we could have it kind of down here. Or up the top. Oh, let's go for it where we first thought. So just going to put that there. And again, I'm just going to kind of do that with the hot glue so as it kind of sticks it down instantly. Then we don't have to kind of worry about holding it down. Like that. Okay. And then we may finish this off with some lace. Maybe the kind of bright blue. Let's have a look. Very pretty, isn't it, that blue lace? So again, just take the hot glue, stick that there. Like that. I'll just pop a bit down the bottom as well, and then it kind of just is matching at top and bottom. You know, not that that's a thing, but I just thought we'd do that on this one because I thought it would just look nice. So there we go. Just cut that away like that. Could have some bling because life's always better with bling, isn't it? Okay, just again use the hot glue. Oops. It's just beginning to rain, I can just hear it outside. Okay. Oops, sorry, I'm just trying to get that piece of glue that's kind of oozed out the edge. Right. Oh, nice things like that just bother me. Right, okay, so that's another piece, really quick, really simple, and you know, hopefully would look really pretty. So let me pull the journal back in. just loving this beautiful, rich kind of blue colour. It's really different, and yeah, really different kind of other colours that I tend to use. Right there, maybe here. It looks great against the green colour, so I think we'd probably have it here maybe. Unless we have it on in the back cover. That's quite nice, isn't it? Might have to have that inside the back cover. I'd also fussy cut this piece out from one of the background pages, which I just absolutely love. So I'm going to just use this, I think, just glued onto a page somewhere. You know, I don't think it really needs kind of anything else really, but maybe we could have that with the ruffle or something. Just looks really pretty, doesn't it? So, you know, yeah, I love that. So I'm going to just leave that in there, I think. And then kind of, you know, we're just going to go through and kind of check. So see how we're doing kind of with regards to how many more kind of pieces that we need. So we need a few more kind of pieces yet. So I've got this one, which again, I thought we'd do a kind of similar thing in that we would make a kind of belly band, you know, arrangement going on. I have got a journaling card here, which obviously kind of picks up the same kind of images from the back, which I don't know whether we might be able to do something kind of different or clever with that. Let's have a look and have a bit of a kind of play around. It would be quite nice to kind of have it maybe kind of lifting up. And I saw Jennifer from A Touch of Sparkle do something like that. So she just did that with some other paper. So let's just see whether we can kind of do something similar with some paper. I think what she did was she kind of attached a strip of paper kind of to the back like that, and then had it kind of folded over. So we could maybe do something like that. So let me just see what I've got that's kind of the best scrap kind of piece. Just being really stingy here, not wanting to obviously use anything that I may want to use at another time. So I've got this, which this was kind of while I was playing, trying to get the kit right. And obviously, you know, I didn't go with this one, if you see what I mean. So we could use that. And then if we just glue that on, so we just glue kind of there like that. Oh, it's raining quite a lot now. Okay. And then what we want to do is obviously fold that to go over as a kind of hinge, like that. So that would be attached, oops, like that. So that works well, doesn't it? So, and I'm just kind of gluing these down, kind of doubling the thickness, just so they're a little bit more robust. You know, you don't have to do this. I mean, I do see some people kind of in their journals just use, you know, literally kind of paper thin things as their pockets. And that is absolutely, you know, 100% fine. I like to thicken things up because I'm a very clumsy person. And if things were too thin, there's a big chance that I'm going to kind of damage it before it even ever got in the post, or before I even did my flip through, quite honestly. So, you know, that's the only reason that I like to kind of reinforce things. It's more about my kind of clumsiness, really, than, you know, my lack of kind of delicate handling. than it is to do with anything else. So, you know, but I mean, as you can see, it's only half thickness because the rest, you know, that side is not doubled at all. But I mean, this is 160 GSM card, so it's not kind of too flimsy anyway, although this is that kind of very smooth one that I've said about before, that to me it doesn't feel 160 GSM, but you know, I assume it is. Right, you know, and I'm no paper expert, so you know, if they're calling it that, I'm sure it's that. Okay. So, and obviously you've got an abundance of butterflies and what have you to use in this kit. So, you know, can really have lots and lots of fun with it. I've got this here, it says happiness. So we could kind of glue this down here. That then ties in the blue that we've got on the journaling card. So let's just kind of glue that down at the bottom. Okay, so I love how that looks, really pretty. And you know, again, I mean, obviously when we come to put this in the journal, you know, the chances are we would kind of decorate the page up further. We probably wouldn't just glue this in, we would probably kind of do some other things around the page, so it wouldn't be kind of alone on the page, if you see what I mean. So I'm just deciding which colour page that this looks best on. Oh, I wonder whether this may be a piece for the front. Not sure. I kind of went a bit mad with the front cover, and I really hope I don't kind of live to regret that, but very hard to say at this point in time. I'm feeling slightly concerned by its appearance, but I hope that I'll be able to kind of pull it back somehow and do something, make it look better. But yeah, no guarantees. Right, I did also do this kind of piece here, which again, just using some of the background page. And I just thought we could have a kind of fold down flip, a bit like the Creative Cafe Girl flips. So let me just neaten that up here. Oops. Like that. And then I think, kind of tentatively, had put this kind of beside it and thought we could maybe kind of do it something like that. So, you know, again, just kind of decorating it up a little bit, really. So I quite like that. Again, let me just see whether it needs any kind of lace trim or anything. I'm just wondering, or we could actually stitch around this and have this as a pocket. I mean, to be honest, any of those ways would be nice. So, you know, we can kind of decide on that afterwards. So let's stick this down. I'm just going to kind of ink this very lightly on the edge. And I'm only doing this because I'm not actually inking this kit. I haven't been inking so much lately because I actually really love seeing the colours of the kits. And when you kind of ink them, sometimes you lose that. The only bits that I'm inking is kind of when you can see a little bit of white from where I've kind of fussy cut it out and, you know, kind of not got right to the edges. So, you know, I'm not kind of inking the kit as such, if that makes sense. So I'm going to glue that on here. Let me just check that I don't want to kind of have lace actually behind it. I mean, it does look quite nice with the lace, but to be honest, we're then kind of losing the you know, the pretty background paper, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to glue it down like this, Okay. I'm just going to glue that on there. And then, you know, I mean, obviously we've got quite a few butterflies that we could use. I mean, we could kind of layer them up in the middle. Looks kind of quite cool. Or we can obviously have them kind of towards the edge. And I was thinking we could just have some blue lace kind of running down the side. Quite nice. Now, obviously, if I do that, I will ruin my chance of being able to stitch down there because I'm going to hot glue this on. And my sewing machine would not like to go through the hot glue, I'm pretty sure. So, you know, if we decide to kind of glue this together as a kind of pocket, it would have to be glued together, not stitched. Which, that's fine. I don't mind that. We've got that. We've got some words. We could have a little word here. Now, weirdly, I did quite like the look of the 3 butterflies kind of layered up. I know that's very odd because they are kind of like different butterflies, but let me just stand up and see how that looks in the camera, whether that looks really strange. Let me put the lamp on. I mean, I know that is kind of strange, but for some reason it's kind of calling me. You know, or we could just have it like that, which maybe is a bit more normal. So perhaps we should just be a bit more normal. In fact, let's put them like that to the side because that does look very pretty and a bit more, you know, a bit more normal. Otherwise, we've just kind of created our completely own breed of butterfly, which is a bit strange, isn't it? You know, so there we go. Okay, so I love how that looks. And I mean, I know I say this all the time, but I just love having a ton of stuff to kind of use in journals. So, you know, for me, I love having kind of all matching, coordinating little bits and bobs to use. It's kind of like having, you know, matching bedding and curtains. And I know that I've said that before, but, you know, accessorising kind of your bedroom, it feels a little bit to me. Oh, doesn't that look so pretty? Yeah, so I like that. And that would obviously either drop down or we're going to kind of glue it together and have it as a little pocket. And just to kind of show you, you know, we could have like a doily piece or something poking out. So I really like that. Looks really pretty. So that's another piece. And then another piece that I did kind of make, which actually I might be repeating myself. I think we maybe already looked at this. And we're just going to pop on a little stopper, closure. I don't know what you would call it, but anyway, a piece here basically. So I think we'll use this because it's kind of nice and small, so it's not kind of overtaking the entire thing. I'm just having a look to see whether we want any lace or anything kind of on this or not. I think probably not, actually, which that's unusual for me. So I'm just going to check that we don't want a different coloured piece there, because obviously I did include a few of these in different colours, and we've got like a journaling card as well. Don't want the journaling card, no. That one's quite nice. No, I'm going to stick with my first instinct. So I'm just going to wet glue this, and what I try and do is kind of glue it, holding it to the flap, so that then I can see I'm not gluing over the flap. If that makes sense. So I'll just kind of pop that down like that. Okay, just pull that down slightly. Like that. Okay, so that's another piece, and again, you know, I will decorate these, you know, because sometimes I think it looks like kind of a journal's taken no time at all, and, you know, those of you who kind of make journals, you know that that's just not the case. They take absolutely ages to make, and just because things look like they've come together really quickly, they often have taken an awful long time out of the line of sight, if you see what I mean. So off of camera, they've kind of often taken quite a long time, you know, away from the camera. Right, so the next piece that I've got is this. Now, this is a new style pocket that I'm kind of experimenting with. I was going to do a tutorial for it, however, I'm not quite there yet with, you know, it kind of coming together in a cohesive kind of way. It's a little bit trial and error at the moment. So that's why I'm not kind of doing that. But if I just kind of, I want to put something in here to fill that white space. So we could have something like that, or we could have something like that. Oops. You know, if I trimmed that down, could have that in there. Let me trim this down. Again, this is killing me to trim this down because it's such a nice piece. But I'm trying to be rational and think I can just print more. And actually, to be fair, I've actually got the whole set printed beside me that I've obviously just shown you in the launch of the kit. So, you know, this is kind of a spare anyway, but for some reason, you know, my mind doesn't think that way. It kind of just says, oh no, don't cut that lovely piece. Right, so that's quite nice. And then what I'll do is obviously kind of have it moved up and then trim it across the top. So if I get gluing that down, glue it across the top. Like that. Okay. I can move that over slightly. It looked slightly off centre. It still is a bit, but slightly better, I think. So, okay, right. Get those gluey bits off. And then what I'm going to do is glue these little flaps down, which are my kind of triangle bits. And glue this one down as well. Okay, so that's that. And then what I want to do is obviously glue it down the middle. And then what I really would like to do is have a pocket here. So I think what is best, because obviously this is now going to be upside down, that probably doesn't really matter too much. So what I'll do is make my fold across where that's going to go, like that. And then I can kind of glue that all down together. Like this. I have been watching something which we have over here called Gentleman Jack. It's a BBC drama. It's with an actress called, I think her name is, oh, no, I'm not sure actually. I went to say her name and now I've just gone completely blank. Keep going to say Susan Sarandon, but that's the lady who was in, oh, Thelma and Louise, I think, isn't it? Oh, what's the lady's name? I think she used to be in Coronation Street. Oh, what's her name? I can't think. I can't think now. Anyway, for those people who are over here, and I don't know whether kind of in other countries you can pick up BBC iPlayer. It's really very good. The first episode was a bit slow, and I have to say it's a little bit raunchy in a few scenes. But it's based on kind of the writings or the kind of diary entries of a lady, I think from kind of the 1800s, who was, you know, struggling with her sexuality, let's just say, which obviously in those days kind of, you know, things were not really accepted, and, you know, she was kind of not willing to just, you know, be kind of, you know, married off or anything like that. She wanted to obviously be who she was, you know, rightly so. Anyway, so there are a few raunchy scenes, like, just to warn you, if you wanted to watch it, you know, be prepared. But that part, you know, aside, which obviously, you know, may sort of be a bit much for some people, she is so funny to watch, and she plays the part absolutely brilliantly. I think she said she had like a coach to kind of coach her, because she's obviously behaving very kind of masculine and very kind of manly, and oh, she's absolutely fantastic in it. Absolutely fantastic. Just plays the part so brilliantly and is so hilarious. I could just watch her the whole day. She is just brilliant in it. Oh my gosh, I love how that looks. What do you guys think? I love how that looks. It's very striking. So I'm going to just cover up that upside down butterfly with this little piece. So this little piece is obviously from the body of the kit. And obviously the main part is obviously the background page of the kit. Oh, I wish I could think of that actress's name. I can't think, but anyway, she is absolutely playing the part so brilliantly. I just love watching her. She just is, well, just awesome. She's just hilarious. You know, she's very outspoken and very kind of forthright, and, you know, kind of, you know, sort of in those days, you know, and quite often still these days, to be honest, you know, men were very busy trying to push women around, and she's kind of running her father's business now a little bit. I think it's her father's, or it could be her uncle's. I'm always kind of on my laptop or cutting or something, so I often kind of miss, you know, key points in programs. So I'm probably have missed a key point here, and, you know, feel free to correct me if I'm kind of wrong and you've been watching it. But she's running, you know, running this business. So she's obviously kind of mixing with men and, you know, negotiating prices and things like that. And obviously in those days, you know, when I say mixing with men, because they were the ones who kind of effectively were doing the business, you know. So she was kind of ahead of her time in that. And it's just very funny. because she's very quick to kind of point out, you know, when they're kind of just treating her in a certain way just because she's a woman. And but she says it in the most hilarious way. And yeah, if you check it out and you enjoy it, I would really love to hear, you know, from you, because yeah, I really think it's really a really good drama. And so, you know, I hope if you check it out that you do enjoy it, because oh, I've just found it very, very good. We're up to episode 3. So again, who knows when I upload this video, it may have even finished. But at the moment I'm up to episode 3, and obviously it's on the iPlayer, you know, catch up. So you know, you should be able to kind of pull it up. I don't know how many episodes there's going to be altogether, but yeah, she's very, very, very funny. Right, now I love how this one's turned out. Strangely enough, this has gone from being my worst one to possibly my favourite one. When I kind of had made it initially, I wasn't very happy with how it looked. I kind of thought it didn't really look very nice, but I really love it now. So let's see how that's going to look somewhere. So again, I'm trying to keep the embellishments probably to just kind of 1 really per page. Obviously I will put something on the other page, but mainly just kind of the 1 fussy, you know, big hefty embellishment, because this book has got pockets in most of the pages, and I have often struggled then to actually be able to stuff anything in them because the book is so bulging. So I'm kind of trying to keep that in mind and trying to keep my embellishing of the pages down slightly. So, you know, I'm kind of thinking go for something like that on 1 page, and then kind of maybe just have like a little card stuck on the other page kind of facing it. You know, is kind of the thinking at the moment. So I hope that you like the kit. It's, you know, I think really like gorgeous colours, and, you know, very vibrant, and you know, something a little bit different. So yeah, obviously the kit's available in my Etsy, and feel free to go and check that out. Hope that you all have a really great day, and I will see you next time, hopefully. Thanks for watching. Bye.